The planet looked empty from above. Red dust stretched in all directions. Jagged rocks rose like broken teeth, and a thin wind swept across the barren land. Commander Rin stood at the edge of their landing craft, squinting at the horizon. The team had come a long way, traveling past moons, asteroids, and gas clouds. Now they had reached this forgotten planet, untouched by humans for thousands of years. Rin was tall and steady, with dark hair tied back tightly. Beside him, scientist Milo adjusted his scanner, a small device glowing with soft blue light. "Commander," Milo said, his voice careful, "the readings are unusual. There's a structure beneath the surface. Something large." Rin narrowed his eyes. "Large how?" Milo frowned. "It's buried, but it shows a regular shape. Rectangular, like a building. But deeper sensors suggest layers of something older inside. Not natural formations. I think it is a tomb." Rin felt a shiver run down his spine. Tombs on unknown planets were dangerous. They could hide traps or ancient machines. Or worse, they could guard something alive. But the explorer in him could not resist. "Then we find it?" Carefully, Rin said. The team followed Milo's readings, moving across the rough terrain. Tara, the youngest member, walked close to Rin, her eyes scanning every rock. She carried the team's small drone, which hovered silently above the ground. Its cameras sent live images to their screens. Hours passed. The sun was low in the sky when Milo stopped suddenly. "Here," he said. The scanner beeped faster. Before them, under layers of red rock, something appeared. It was a pyramid-like shape, dark and massive. Its surface was smooth in some places, jagged in others. Strange markings ran across it, glowing faintly like they had a life of their own. Rin took a step closer, running a hand along the stone. The markings pulsed lightly under his touch. They looked like lines and shapes forming creatures he had never seen. "This is incredible," he whispered. Tara leaned closer, recording everything with her drone. Milo scanned the air. "The readings are off the charts. Energy is coming from inside," he said. Rin turned to the team. "We open it," he said simply. There were gasps and hesitant looks. Opening an unknown tomb was never simple. But Rin's eyes held determination. "We are explorers. That is what we do. Carefully, but we go inside. Stay alert. Do not touch anything without permission." The team nodded. They carried equipment to move the massive stone door. Slowly, they began their work. Small tools first, chisels and levers, making tiny cracks. Then larger equipment, pushing and lifting. The stone was heavy. The markings on it seemed to shimmer more as the door moved. Finally, with a sound that echoed across the canyon, the door slid open. Dust flew out, and a strange vibration ran through the ground. The wind from outside carried inside, but there was something else. A faint sound. A scream. The team froze. It was not loud, but it was sharp, like a voice of anger and warning. It came from inside the tomb, but they could not see anyone. Tara's drone moved forward, sending images of darkness. Shadows twisted across the walls. Milo swallowed. "Commander, did you hear that?" Rin nodded. "I heard it. Stay calm. It is likely a warning system. Most tombs have something to scare intruders. We proceed carefully. Keep your scanners ready." They stepped inside. The air was cool, heavy, and smelled of stone and something older, something that had been sealed for centuries. The walls were covered with the same glowing markings as the outside. They pulsed gently as if responding to the presence of humans. Rin held up a light. The walls revealed strange figures, humanoid but taller and thinner than humans. Their eyes were large, and their hands ended in long fingers. Milo moved closer, scanning the figures. These markings are a story. A warning, he said. They show creatures defending this place. They fought against invaders. They were powerful. Tara whispered, "Do you think the scream is alive? Not a machine?" Ren shook his head. "We don't know yet. Stay close. Do not panic." The tomb opened into a larger chamber. The walls were high and curved. Crystals grew from the ground and ceiling, casting soft colors across the stone. The team moved slowly, scanning for traps. The vibration from the scream still lingered, fading in and out. It was as if the tomb itself was breathing. Milo knelt by a crystal. "Energy readings are strong. Whatever is in this tomb, it is powered by this crystal network. It could be dangerous if disturbed." Ren looked around. "We take only notes and images. Nothing more. We respect the tomb. That is the way humans survive in unknown worlds. Intelligence and caution." The team moved further in. Each step made the faint scream echo again. It was haunting, a sound that made their hearts beat faster. Yet they could not turn back. Curiosity and duty pushed them forward. They had come to explore, to learn, to face the unknown. At the far end of the chamber, they found a massive door carved into stone. It was taller than any human, and the markings on it were brighter. The team stopped. This had to be the inner chamber, the heart of the tomb. Ren stepped forward, touching the carvings. The crystals on the walls pulsed in response. A vibration ran through the floor. The scream rose, louder this time, echoing like a chorus. The team held their ground, their fear replaced by determination. "This is it," Ren said. "The tomb speaks. We listen." Carefully, we open the next door. Milo nodded. "Whatever is inside, it is waiting for us. We need to be ready for anything." The team set up their scanners, lights, and protective gear. With slow, careful effort, they began to move the massive inner door. Dust and small stones fell as the ancient mechanisms groaned to life. The vibration grew stronger, and the scream became a deep, chilling echo that seemed to come from the very walls. Ren held his hand up. "Stop. We wait. Observe. Learn. The tomb may test us first." The explorers stayed in the doorway, listening to the strange, powerful scream. Each felt a mix of fear and excitement. They had crossed into a place no human had entered for centuries. The tomb had awakened, and it was aware of them. The canyon outside was silent now, the wind calm. But inside, the tomb whispered secrets older than humans could imagine. Commander Ren and his team knew one thing clearly: their journey into the tomb had just begun. And the tomb was ready to test them. The chamber inside the tomb was larger than anything the team had expected. The ceiling stretched high above, disappearing into darkness. Crystals of blue, green, and red grew from the floor and walls, casting shifting shadows across the explorers. Every surface glowed faintly, pulsing as if the tomb itself were alive. Commander Ren took a deep breath. "Keep your scanners on. Watch every step." He adjusted his helmet light to scan the chamber. Tara moved her drone ahead slowly, its tiny rotors buzzing as it floated over the uneven stone floor. Milo checked the readings again, his fingers flying over the controls. "The energy levels are rising," Milo said, his voice tense. "It feels like something is powering up inside." Ren nodded. "We expected activity. Stay alert. Nothing touches the ground without my order." As they advanced, the walls revealed more strange carvings. The figures in the artwork were taller than humans, with long limbs and large eyes. They carried weapons and strange machines. Some figures appeared to be lifting enormous stones or controlling glowing crystals. The team realized that the tomb was not just a resting place. It was also a record of power, showing the might of the beings who had built it. Tara stopped suddenly, pointing at the wall. "Commander, look. That shape, it moves." Ren squinted. At first, he saw only a carved figure holding a weapon. But then, slowly, the eyes of the figure glowed brighter. Its hands seemed to shift, pointing toward the explorers. A chill ran through the team. The carvings were not static. Something in the tomb made them move, as if watching the intruders. "Stay calm," Ren said. "It is likely a warning mechanism. Observe, do not touch." Milo's scanner beeped urgently. "Commander, there is a low-frequency sound coming from behind the walls. It is almost like a hum. And it is growing stronger." Ren felt a vibration in his boots. "Everyone, stop moving. Listen." The hum became a low scream. It started quietly, like a whisper in the walls, then grew louder, echoing through the chamber. The team instinctively took a step back. The sound was sharp and full of energy. It made the air feel heavier, like the tomb itself was pressing down on them. Tara's drone picked up the vibration and displayed waves of energy moving through the chamber. "It is not coming from one place," she said. "It is everywhere. The walls, the crystals, the floor, it is all alive." Ren nodded. "Exactly what we feared. The tomb is alive, or at least it is connected to a system we do not understand. Keep scanning. Keep moving slowly." They proceeded further, carefully stepping over uneven stones. Milo crouched near a crystal, his scanner glowing red. "This crystal is different. It pulses in response to sound and movement. If we move too quickly or make noise, it could trigger something." Ren signaled the team to pause. "We will move slowly. Every step counts. We must respect the tomb. Our lives depend on patience." As they advanced, the scream changed. It became louder, sharper, almost like it was speaking to them. Ren could feel the sound vibrating in his chest. It was not a random noise. The tomb was aware of their presence, testing them with fear. Suddenly, a panel in the wall slid open with a hiss. A small cube floated out, glowing with white light. It hovered for a moment, then shot upward and disappeared into the ceiling. Tara's drone followed it with its camera, revealing a shaft that led further into darkness. "What was that?" Tara whispered. Milo examined the readings. "It is a signaling device, or a guardian mechanism. It is alive in some way. The tomb tests intruders before allowing deeper access. This cube likely measures courage, intelligence, or reaction." Ren studied the walls carefully. "It is a challenge. The tomb wants to see if we are worthy of continuing. Do not panic. Observe. Think. Move." The team moved forward again, each step measured and deliberate. The carvings on the walls began to show scenes of battles. The glowing figures fought enemies, their weapons releasing energy beams. Some figures carried glowing stones like the ones in the chamber. The scenes showed strategy, bravery, and intelligence. The tomb was teaching as well as warning. Milo whispered, "Commander, I think the tomb responds to our behavior. If we act recklessly, it could attack or trap us. But if we show thought and caution, it may allow us to continue." Ren nodded. "That is why we follow rules. Observe first, act second. That is how humans survive. That is how we explore." The scream returned, louder and sharper this time. It made their ears ring and their chests ache. The energy in the crystals surged. Tara's drone hovered near the ceiling, showing faint, moving shadows. The team realized that the tomb was not just a building. It was a living system, a defense mechanism of incredible design. Suddenly, a wall ahead began to shift. A section of stone moved like a door, revealing another chamber beyond. A cold wind blew from the opening, carrying the faint smell of ancient stone and dust. The scream from the tomb became a high-pitched echo, almost like laughter, testing their courage. Ren raised his hand. Stop. Observe. We do not rush. Everyone, focus on your scanner and lights. Watch for traps. Step by step. The team advanced slowly. The new chamber was darker, taller, and more complex. Crystals grew in strange patterns, forming what looked like defensive shapes. Milo examined the floor. Pressure sensors. Any wrong step could trigger something dangerous. Tara whispered, Commander, do you think the scream is trying to scare us away? Ren looked at her carefully. Yes, but it also tests us. It is like a puzzle. We must show intelligence and courage. Humans survive by thinking. By staying calm. By respecting the unknown. As they moved deeper, the carvings on the walls became more intricate. They showed not just battles but also tools, machines, and floating objects. The tomb was a record of a civilization far older and smarter than humans. Each scene seemed to challenge the team to understand and learn. The scream rose again, louder and more urgent. It reverberated through the crystals, shaking small stones from the ceiling. The team paused, feeling the full weight of the tomb's awareness. The system was active, alive, and watching every move. Ren whispered, We are being tested. Stay calm. Stay together. Observe everything. Milo nodded. Commander, the energy levels in this chamber are the highest yet. Whatever is inside, it is waiting for us. This is only the first warning. Ren looked at his team. Their faces showed fear, but also determination. They had come this far. They could not turn back now. Then we face it, Ren said. Carefully, bravely, intelligently. That is what humans do. With that, the team stepped fully into the chamber, ready to confront the tomb's first real test. The scream echoed once more, loud and clear, as if acknowledging their courage. The adventure into the heart of the tomb had truly begun. The team had entered the inner chamber. Its walls were higher than any building they had ever seen, and the floor was covered with small glowing crystals that pulsed faintly under their boots. The air was thick and cool, carrying a strange energy that made their hair stand on end. Commander Ren moved carefully, scanning the walls for any signs of danger. This chamber is different, Milo said, his voice echoing softly. The energy readings are off the charts. It feels alive. The tomb itself seems aware of our presence. Ren nodded. That is why we move slowly. Keep your eyes open. Stay alert for traps. The chamber stretched into darkness, but the crystals provided enough light to reveal strange patterns on the walls. The markings showed figures taller than humans, with long fingers and large eyes. They were holding glowing objects and strange weapons. The carvings moved slightly, as if watching the explorers. Each pulse of the crystal light seemed to make the figures shift, turning their heads or raising their arms. Tara whispered, Commander, the carvings, they are moving. I think they are watching us. Ren said, Do not panic. It is a warning, a test. We stay calm. We observe. That is how humans survive in unknown places. As they advanced, a sudden vibration ran through the floor. The team stopped immediately. Milo's scanner beeped wildly. Commander, the floor is reacting. Something is activating. Before anyone could react, a section of the wall slid open with a grinding sound. From inside, a mechanical arm shot out, holding a glowing crystal. The arm hovered in the air, waiting. It moved with precision, as if measuring the team's reactions. Ren raised a hand. Step back slowly. Do not panic. Observe. Tara held the drone steady as Milo recorded the readings. The arm moved closer, then paused. It seemed to scan them. After a tense moment, it retracted into the wall. The chamber went quiet again, but the energy from the crystals remained strong, vibrating through the air. That was a test, Rin said. The tomb measures courage, intelligence, and calmness. We passed by staying composed. Milo frowned at his scanner. Commander, the energy pulses are increasing. Something bigger is ahead. This chamber is only the first defense. The tomb is preparing for us. Rin nodded. We expected this. Keep your scanners ready. Keep your focus. Humans survive by thinking and acting carefully. That is our advantage. They continued through the chamber, stepping carefully over uneven stones. The carvings became more detailed, showing battles between the builders of the tomb and unknown invaders. The glowing figures moved as if alive, displaying strategies, tactics, and strength. The team realized that the tomb was teaching them as well as warning them. Suddenly, a deep hum filled the air. The walls vibrated, and the crystals glowed brighter. The scream that had haunted them earlier returned, louder and sharper. The team felt it in their chests, making it hard to breathe. Milo pointed at the wall. Commander, look. A figure is emerging from the carvings. The team stared in disbelief. A humanoid shape, taller than any human, with long fingers and glowing eyes, stepped out of the wall. It was not solid. Its body was a combination of energy and crystal. The figure hovered slightly above the floor and looked directly at them. Rin raised a hand slowly. Do not move suddenly. Observe and respond carefully. The figure raised one hand and pointed at Milo. The scientist froze, unsure what to do. The figure lowered its hand, then extended it toward the center of the chamber. A small platform rose from the floor, glowing with white light. This is a challenge, Rin said. The tomb is testing us. We need to show intelligence and courage. Tara flew the drone closer to the figure, recording everything. Commander, it is alive, but not aggressive. It is observing us. Rin nodded. Then we act carefully. Step forward, one at a time, and interact with the platform. Milo took a deep breath and stepped onto the platform. The crystals pulsed under his feet. The figure hovered closer, scanning him. The platform lifted slightly, then stopped. A holographic display appeared in front of Milo, showing strange symbols and patterns. Milo studied them. Commander, it is a puzzle. I think we need to solve it to proceed. The tomb is testing intelligence, not strength. Rin stepped forward. Then we solve it carefully. Observe patterns, think logically, and stay calm. Together, the team worked on the puzzle. Tara directed the drone to project a light onto the symbols. Milo analyzed the shapes, matching them with the carvings on the walls. Rin guided them, keeping everyone focused and calm. After 10 minutes, Milo pressed the final symbol correctly. The platform glowed brightly, and the figure nodded once, almost like it was approving their action. The crystals on the walls dimmed slightly, and the vibration in the chamber lessened. That was the first real defense, Rin said. The tomb tests our courage, intelligence, and composure. Humans survive by thinking and adapting. That is our strength. The figure slowly retreated into the wall, disappearing into the carvings. The platform descended, allowing the team to continue. The scream faded to a low hum, but the energy in the crystals remained strong. Milo wiped sweat from his brow. Commander, that was incredible. The tomb is alive in a way we never imagined. It tests not just strength, but wisdom and patience. Rin looked at the walls, studying the carvings. Exactly. Humans have survived in harsh environments for thousands of years because we think, we adapt, and we stay calm under pressure. The tomb will not stop testing us. But we will survive because we have each other and our minds. The team moved forward cautiously. The next chamber appeared even larger, with more complex crystal structures and carvings. The energy readings were higher, the hum of the tomb stronger. It was clear that the challenges would only increase. Tara whispered, "Commander, do you think we are ready for what is next?" Rin smiled faintly. "We must be. Humans survive by facing the unknown. By staying calm, using our minds, and trusting each other. That is our advantage over anything the tomb can throw at us." They stepped forward into the next chamber, fully aware that the tomb had many defenses still ahead. The scream might return stronger, the puzzles might be more dangerous, but the team was ready. Commander Rin led them carefully, knowing that every challenge would test their courage, intelligence, and unity. The tomb had awakened, and the explorers were deep inside. Whatever lay ahead would test them like never before. The explorers moved carefully into the next chamber. It was wider and taller than the others, with walls carved in complex patterns. Glowing crystals formed strange shapes along the floor and ceiling. The hum of energy was stronger here, vibrating in their chests. Commander Rin signaled for the team to pause. "Everyone, stay alert," Rin said. "This chamber is different. I can feel the energy. It is powerful." Milo scanned the crystals. "Commander, these readings are incredible. The energy is unlike anything we have ever measured. It seems to be coming from a single source deep inside this chamber." Tara's drone flew forward, projecting light onto the walls. The carvings showed the builders of the tomb working with machines. The machines moved heavy stones with ease and lifted glowing crystals into place. The figures seemed to control the energy around them. Milo studied the symbols carefully. "Commander, I think the tomb was also a workshop. The creators built machines powered by these crystals. They were stronger and smarter than us in many ways." Rin nodded. "Then we observe carefully. Humans survive by learning. By understanding the unknown. That is what we do now." As they moved deeper, the chamber opened into a central area. A large, metallic sarcophagus floated slightly above the ground. Its surface shimmered with a strange light, and intricate symbols covered every inch. The sarcophagus seemed alive, pulsing with energy. The team froze, sensing the power radiating from it. Milo whispered, "Commander, this is incredible. The sarcophagus itself is a source of energy. It may be the tomb's core. Everything else responds to it." Rin examined it closely. "We do not touch it yet. Observe first. Learn. Humans survive by thinking and acting carefully, not by rushing." The walls around the sarcophagus displayed holographic images. They showed an ancient civilization in battle. Creatures larger and stronger than humans fought enemies who tried to invade. Machines lifted massive stones, beams of energy shot across battlefields, and the builders controlled glowing crystals with their minds. "This civilization was extraordinary," Milo said. "The tomb is not just a resting place. It is a record of their power and intelligence. And this sarcophagus may be the secret weapon they used to protect everything." Rin nodded. "We expected defenses, but this is more than that. The tomb itself is a weapon. And it is still active." Suddenly, the crystals in the chamber pulsed rapidly. A low hum filled the air, vibrating through the explorers' bodies. The sarcophagus began to lift higher, and a soft, eerie light glowed from inside it. The hum turned into a low, deep sound, almost like a voice. The tomb was reacting to their presence. Tara whispered, "Commander, it is aware of us. It is testing us again." Rin nodded. "Yes. Humans survive by staying calm and thinking. We do not panic. Observe, learn, and act carefully." Milo studied the holograms. "Commander, the images show that the sarcophagus can control the machines in the tomb. It is like a central brain. If it activates fully, it could be dangerous." Rin looked at the sarcophagus. "Then we proceed carefully. We must understand it before interacting. Knowledge is our weapon." The team spread out, scanning the chamber and the crystals. Each step they took made the sarcophagus pulse. A faint, echoing scream filled the air, as if the tomb itself were alive. The team realized that every action mattered. The tomb measured their intelligence, courage, and composure. Milo moved closer to a control panel embedded in the floor. It was covered with glowing symbols. "Commander, this may allow us to interact with the sarcophagus. But I am not sure how. The tomb may test us further if we make a mistake." Rin nodded. "Then we act together. We share knowledge and think carefully. Humans survive by working as a team." They began to study the symbols. Milo recognized patterns similar to the carvings on the walls. Terra projected the drone's light onto the panel, revealing hidden connections between the symbols. Rin guided the team, keeping everyone focused. After careful observation, Milo pressed a sequence of symbols on the panel. The sarcophagus pulsed brightly, and the holograms shifted. The builders in the images appeared to control the sarcophagus, lifting massive stones and machines with ease. The energy in the chamber stabilized, no longer vibrating violently. "It is responding to our intelligence," Rin said. "The tomb wants to see if we can understand it. Humans survive because we can think, learn, and adapt." The sarcophagus lifted slightly higher, revealing a hollow interior. Light spilled out, illuminating a complex network of machines and crystals. The energy was powerful but controlled. Milo whispered, "Commander, this is incredible. The tomb itself is a machine, and this sarcophagus is its core. We may be able to study it safely if we proceed carefully." Rin nodded. "Then we proceed. Step by step, observe everything, and respect the tomb. Humans survive by patience and intelligence. That is our strength." As they moved closer, the scream returned, soft but sharp. It echoed through the chamber, vibrating through the crystals and the sarcophagus. The tomb was alive, aware of their every move. The team felt the weight of its presence, but they did not panic. They had learned to stay calm and think. Suddenly, a section of the floor shifted, revealing another platform covered in glowing symbols. The sarcophagus pulsed as if signaling them to interact. Milo studied it carefully. "Commander, this may be the tomb's next test. It measures intelligence and composure. We must solve it correctly to proceed safely." Rin nodded. "Then we do. Humans survive by observing, learning, and acting with thought. That is what we will do." The team worked together, analyzing the symbols and matching them with patterns in the holograms and carvings. Terra used the drone to highlight connections, Milo calculated the sequence, and Rin guided them to remain calm and focused. After tense moments, Milo pressed the final symbol. The platform glowed brightly, and the sarcophagus pulsed in response. The energy in the chamber stabilized completely. The scream faded to a soft hum, and the crystals returned to their gentle glow. "The tomb accepted our intelligence and courage," Rin said. "Humans survive because we think, adapt, and act together. That is why we are still here." Milo looked at the sarcophagus in awe. "Commander, this is the core of the tomb's power. If we study it carefully, we may understand the technology and the civilization that built it." Rin nodded. "Then we proceed carefully. Humans survive by learning from the unknown. That is our advantage." The team moved forward, closer to the sarcophagus. The tomb was quiet now, but they knew more challenges awaited. The central chamber revealed the true scale of the tomb's defenses. The sarcophagus was not just a resting place, it was the brain of a powerful system, alive and aware. Rin looked at his team. "We face this together. Humans survive by courage, intelligence, and unity. That is our strength. Whatever comes next, we are ready." The explorers continued, knowing that the tomb's full power was still ahead. The secret weapon had been revealed, but the adventure was far from over. The tomb had tested them once, and it would test them again. But the humans were ready. The central chamber felt alive. The sarcophagus floated silently, pulsing with gentle light. The air vibrated with energy, carrying the low hum of the tomb's power. Commander Rin studied the room carefully, his eyes scanning every crystal and carving. Milo and Tara followed closely, their scanners and drone ready. "Stay alert," Rin said. "The tomb has accepted our intelligence so far, but we are not finished. It may still test us." Milo moved closer to the sarcophagus, his scanner glowing brightly. "Commander, the readings are growing. The energy is building inside the sarcophagus. I think it is preparing for something." Rin nodded. "Then we watch and wait. Humans survive by staying calm, observing, and thinking. That is our advantage." As they studied the sarcophagus, a sudden vibration ran through the floor. The crystals pulsed rapidly, casting bright flashes across the chamber. The hum became a low roar, then exploded into a scream that filled the entire room. The sound was deafening, vibrating through their bones, echoing off the walls, and shaking loose small stones from the ceiling. Tara's drone wobbled in the air as the scream hit. "Commander, what is happening?" "The sarcophagus," before she could finish, the sarcophagus began to open. A bright light poured out, illuminating the entire chamber. From the glowing interior emerged a massive figure. Its body was a fusion of crystal, metal, and energy, taller than any human. Its eyes glowed with bright white light, and its hands ended in sharp, powerful fingers. The figure hovered slightly above the floor, radiating immense power. Ren took a deep breath. "Stay calm. Observe. Humans survive by using intelligence, courage, and patience. That is our strength." The figure moved slowly, scanning the team. Its eyes seemed to pierce through them, analyzing their every action. The scream echoed again, but this time it carried meaning, as if the tomb itself was giving life to the guardian. Milo whispered, "Commander, it is alive, in some way. The tomb created it as a protector. We must be careful. One wrong move, and it could attack." Ren nodded. "Then we act carefully. We show intelligence and composure. That is how humans survive." The guardian raised one hand, and a wave of energy pulsed across the chamber. The team felt the force push them slightly backward, but the crystals absorbed most of it. The figure lowered its hand and looked directly at Milo, as if testing him. "Commander, it is observing us," Milo said. "I think it wants to see how we react." Ren nodded. "Then we respond with thought, not force. Humans survive by staying calm, analyzing, and acting wisely. Do not panic. Use your minds." The guardian extended both arms, and the crystals on the floor began to shift. Small platforms rose and moved in patterns across the chamber. The figure was creating obstacles, testing their strategy and coordination. Tara whispered, "Commander, it is like a puzzle, but alive. We must move carefully to avoid triggering it." Ren nodded. "Exactly. Humans survive by understanding the situation before acting. Observe, plan, and move together." The team began to navigate the moving platforms. Each step had to be precise, as the guardian watched and adjusted the patterns. The scream returned, rising and falling in intensity, guiding and testing their courage. The chamber became a challenge of both mind and nerves. Milo directed Tara and Ren through the platforms. "Step lightly here, wait there. Timing is important. Watch the crystal pulses. They show the safe path." Tara moved the drone ahead to project light on the next platform. Ren followed the instructions carefully, keeping the team synchronized. Each move was deliberate, calculated, and calm. The guardian observed closely. Its glowing eyes followed every motion. When the team made a correct move, the platform stabilized slightly. When they hesitated or acted without thought, the scream intensified, and the platforms shifted dangerously. Ren spoke quietly to the team. Humans survive by thinking ahead, cooperating, and staying calm under pressure. That is how we continue. Milo adjusted the scanner to predict the next platform movement. Commander, one wrong step could trigger an energy pulse. But if we solve this correctly, the Guardian will recognize our intelligence and courage. The team moved forward, carefully stepping on each platform. The Guardian's arms moved, shaping the energy around them, testing their understanding. The scream fluctuated, sharp and low, as if communicating directly with them. Finally, they reached the center of the chamber, near the sarcophagus. The Guardian lowered its arms and hovered silently. The scream faded to a soft hum. The platform stopped moving. The crystals dimmed slightly, casting gentle light over the team. Ren exhaled slowly. We have passed the first test of strength, courage, and intelligence. Humans survive because we think, adapt, and act together. That is our advantage over any threat. Milo looked at the Guardian in awe. Commander, it paused. It recognized our strategy. We used our minds, not weapons. The tomb values intelligence and composure over force. Ren nodded. Exactly. Humans survive because we are curious, brave, and capable of learning. That is why we are still standing. The Guardian extended one hand and touched the sarcophagus lightly. A pulse of energy spread through the chamber, but it was not harmful. The tomb seemed to acknowledge the explorers as worthy. The scream faded completely, leaving only the soft hum of the crystals. Tara whispered, Commander, it is like it is approving us. The tomb has accepted our courage and intelligence. Ren smiled. Humans survive by respecting the unknown, using their minds, and trusting each other. That is why we are still alive and why we will continue to explore. The team moved cautiously closer to the sarcophagus. Its surface shimmered gently, no longer pulsing violently. The Guardian hovered nearby, watching but not interfering. The tomb had revealed one of its most powerful defenses, but the humans had faced it successfully. Milo whispered, Commander, the energy readings are stable now. We can study the sarcophagus safely, at least for now. This is incredible. The tomb itself is a machine, alive and intelligent, and we have passed its first major test. Ren looked at his team. We faced fear, power, and intelligence today. Humans survive by thinking, staying calm, and working together. That is why we are here. The tomb will test us again, but we are ready. The explorers took a moment to catch their breath. The chamber was quiet now, except for the soft hum of the crystals. The sarcophagus glowed gently, and the Guardian hovered silently, as if waiting for the next challenge. Ren said, We proceed carefully. The tomb has shown its power and its intelligence. Humans survive by courage, wisdom, and teamwork. That is our greatest weapon. The team nodded and prepared to continue their exploration. The tomb had awakened, revealing its strength and awareness. The screaming had tested them, but humans had passed the first true trial. They were ready for whatever challenges the tomb would place before them next. The adventure into the heart of the tomb had become real. The Guardian was awake, the sarcophagus pulsing with energy, and the explorers had proven their courage. But they knew this was only the beginning. The tomb had many secrets still hidden, and the journey ahead would test their minds and bravery even further. The chamber was quiet now, filled only with the soft hum of the crystals. The Guardian hovered silently near the sarcophagus, watching every move of the explorers. Commander Ren took a deep breath, feeling the weight of what they had just survived. We passed the first true test, Ren said. But the tomb is far from done. Humans survive by thinking, learning, and adapting. That is what we do next. Milo approached the sarcophagus, scanning its glowing surface. Commander, the energy readings are stable, but the structure is complex. It responds to movement, thought, and possibly patterns. The tomb itself is interactive. Tara flew the drone closer to the crystals. Commander, I think the Guardian is observing how we interact with the tomb. It reacts to intelligence and strategy, not force. We can use this to our advantage. Rin nodded. Exactly. Humans survive by observing, analyzing, and using their minds. That is how we will proceed. The team began studying the chamber. The carvings on the walls showed more scenes of the builders' lives. They worked with machines, lifted massive stones, and controlled the glowing crystals with precision. The holograms displayed symbols that matched the markings on the sarcophagus and floor platforms. Milo's eyes widened. Commander, the tomb is a system, Milo said. It is controlled through energy patterns, crystal placement, and symbol sequences. We can interact with it if we understand the logic. Intelligence is the key. Rin studied the walls carefully. Then we proceed step by step. Observe, think, plan, act. Humans survive by adapting and using what they know. They started experimenting. Milo touched one of the glowing symbols on the floor, and a soft light pulsed across the chamber. The Guardian moved closer, tilting its head, as if watching the action. When Tara used the drone to project light on another symbol, the sarcophagus pulsed in response. The tomb seemed to react positively to careful, thoughtful actions. Commander, Milo said, it is like a puzzle. Each correct action stabilizes the energy, each mistake causes a reaction. The Guardian observes, but it does not attack if we act intelligently. Rin nodded. Then we continue carefully. Humans survive by learning from the unknown. That is our advantage over any system or machine. The team worked together, combining their skills. Milo analyzed the symbols and predicted sequences. Tara used the drone to illuminate patterns and reveal hidden connections. Rin guided them to remain calm, organized, and deliberate in every move. As they progressed, the sarcophagus began projecting a holographic map of the tomb. It showed chambers, pathways, and energy nodes. The map revealed dangers ahead, but also the correct paths to proceed safely. The team studied it carefully. This is incredible, Milo said. The tomb is showing us how to navigate it. It responds to intelligence, courage, and composure. Humans survive by thinking and adapting. That is exactly what we are doing. Rin smiled. Humans survive by working together. Courage and intelligence are not enough alone. We must trust each other and act as a team. The Guardian moved closer, hovering near the sarcophagus. It extended one hand, sending a pulse of light across the floor. The energy formed a bridge of glowing platforms leading toward a new chamber. The path was complex and shifting. The tomb was testing them again, but this time it offered guidance. Tara whispered, Commander, the Guardian is helping us. It wants to see if we can follow the path correctly. Rin nodded. Then we proceed carefully. Humans survive by observing, analyzing, and using what they learn. That is what we do. The team began moving across the glowing platforms. Each step had to be precise, timed with the shifting energy. Milo analyzed the pulses, predicting the safe moments to move. Tara used the drone to light the next platform. Rin guided the team, keeping everyone coordinated. The Guardian hovered nearby, observing closely. Its glowing eyes followed every move, but it did not interfere. The scream from earlier was gone, replaced by a soft hum. The tomb seemed satisfied with their careful actions. Halfway across the chamber, a platform shifted unexpectedly. Milo froze, recalculating the sequence. Tara adjusted the drone to highlight the new pattern. Rin instructed the team to pause, study the movement, and proceed carefully. Step by step, they continued, avoiding the dangers. Commander, we are making progress, Milo said. The tomb reacts to intelligence, strategy, and calmness. Humans survive because we think, adapt, and work together. That is why we are still here. Rin nodded. Exactly. Every step we take proves our strength. Humans survive by using their minds, courage, and cooperation. That is our advantage over the unknown. Finally, they reached the end of the glowing platform path. A new chamber opened before them, filled with more crystals and carvings. The energy readings were high but stable. The sarcophagus pulsed gently, and the guardian hovered silently, observing. Milo studied the new chamber. Commander, this may be the tomb's next test. It will likely challenge us in new ways. But if we apply intelligence, strategy, and courage, we can succeed. Ren looked at his team. We face the tomb together. Humans survive because we think, plan, and act with courage. That is our strength. Whatever challenges lie ahead, we will face them as a team. The team moved carefully into the chamber. The carvings showed builders manipulating massive machines, floating objects, and powerful energy. The holograms demonstrated how the tomb's energy network worked. Milo and Tara studied every detail, preparing to use their knowledge to navigate safely. The Guardian extended its hand again, projecting a pathway of energy nodes across the chamber. The pattern was complex, shifting with every pulse. The tomb was offering another challenge, but this time it allowed them to interact with it, to show their understanding. Ren nodded. Observe, analyze, act. Humans survive by learning from the unknown and using intelligence and courage. That is exactly what we do now. The team moved carefully along the energy nodes. Milo calculated the sequence, Tara projected light with the drone, and Ren guided everyone through the safest path. Each step required focus, strategy, and calm nerves. As they reached the far end of the chamber, the sarcophagus pulsed brightly, and the Guardian hovered beside it. The tomb seemed to acknowledge their intelligence and composure. The energy stabilized, and the soft hum of the crystals filled the air. Commander, we did it, Milo said, smiling. The tomb responded to our actions. Humans survive by thinking, learning, and acting together. That is why we succeeded. Ren nodded, proud of the team. We have proven our courage, intelligence, and cooperation. Humans survive because we trust each other and use our minds. That is our greatest strength. The chamber was calm now. The Guardian hovered silently, the sarcophagus glowed gently, and the crystals hummed softly. The team had learned to interact with the tomb, using intelligence and strategy rather than force. They had passed another major challenge. Ren looked at his team. We have learned much today. Humans survive because we think, adapt, and act together. The tomb will continue to challenge us, but we are ready. Our minds and courage are our greatest weapons. The explorers prepared to move deeper into the tomb. The Guardian watched silently, and the energy pulsed steadily. They had proven themselves capable of interacting with the tomb. The adventure was far from over, but the humans had shown that intelligence, courage, and teamwork could overcome even the most ancient and powerful defenses. The explorers stepped cautiously into the final chamber. The air was thick with energy, but calm compared to the intense vibrations they had felt before. Commander Ren led the way, scanning every wall, floor, and crystal. Milo followed, his scanner glowing steadily, while Tara's drone hovered above, casting light on the intricate carvings. This is the heart of the tomb, Ren said. Humans survive by staying calm, thinking, and acting together. That is what we do now. The chamber was enormous, larger than any previous one. Crystals of all colors grew from the walls and floor, forming arches and patterns that seemed to stretch toward the ceiling. At the center floated the sarcophagus, glowing brighter than ever. The Guardian hovered beside it, still silent, its eyes following every move. Milo studied the energy readings. Commander, the power here is incredible. The tomb itself seems stable, but this chamber may hold its ultimate challenge. We must proceed carefully. Rin nodded. We have faced the tomb's tests before. Humans survive because we think, cooperate, and show courage. We will continue to do so. As they approached the sarcophagus, a holographic projection appeared in the air. It showed the builders of the tomb, their forms tall and elegant, moving with precision and intelligence. Machines floated around them, and glowing crystals responded to their touch. The projection revealed their battles, but also their wisdom, teaching strategies, solutions, and cooperation. Tara whispered, "Commander, they are showing us their history, but also their knowledge. They want to teach us." Rin nodded. Humans survive by learning from others and applying knowledge. That is exactly what we do. The Guardian extended its arm slowly. A soft pulse of energy spread across the chamber. The floating crystals formed a pathway leading directly to the sarcophagus. The tomb was offering guidance, a way to interact with its core safely. Milo studied the symbols along the path. "Commander, these are instructions. The tomb is testing our intelligence and understanding. If we follow the pattern correctly, we may communicate with it fully." Rin gestured to the team. "Then we move carefully. Observe, think, act. Humans survive by learning, cooperating, and staying calm. That is our advantage." Step by step, they moved along the crystal pathway. Milo calculated the timing and sequence, Tara projected light with the drone to highlight the correct path, and Rin guided the team to stay synchronized. Each movement had to be precise, as the Guardian's eyes followed every step. As they reached the sarcophagus, the Guardian extended one hand, sending a wave of energy through the chamber. The energy did not harm them. Instead, it seemed to respond to their careful, intelligent actions. The tomb itself recognized their composure, courage, and understanding. Rin stepped forward and touched the sarcophagus lightly. The light expanded, filling the chamber, and the holographic images became more vivid. The builders' forms appeared closer, their gestures showing knowledge, strategy, and cooperation. Milo and Tara watched in awe as the tomb shared information through the holograms, revealing the secrets of its energy network, crystal technology, and protective systems. "This is incredible," Milo said. "The tomb is not just a resting place. It is a repository of knowledge and power. Humans survive because we can understand and learn. That is what the tomb is teaching us." Rin nodded. "Exactly. Humans survive because we are intelligent, courageous, and cooperative. The tomb has tested us, but we have proven ourselves worthy." The Guardian moved closer to the sarcophagus, lowering itself slightly. Its glowing eyes studied the team, then dimmed gently. The tomb's scream had vanished completely. The soft hum of the crystals filled the chamber, signaling that the final challenge had been acknowledged and accepted. Tara whispered, "Commander, it seems the Guardian recognizes us as allies now. The tomb accepts our intelligence and courage." Rin smiled. "Humans survive by showing respect, understanding, and bravery. That is why we have been accepted. The tomb is no longer a threat. It is an ally of knowledge." The holographic projections shifted again, showing the builders placing crystals in precise formations, controlling machines with thought, and creating systems that could protect entire civilizations. The team realized that this knowledge could advance humanity far beyond their current technology. Milo said, "Commander, if we take these designs and understand them, we could build machines, energy systems, and defenses that are beyond anything humans have done before." Rin nodded thoughtfully. "Humans survive by learning and applying knowledge. We must study this carefully, understand it fully, and use it wisely. That is our responsibility." The Guardian hovered beside the team but did not interfere. It seemed to guide them, allowing the explorers to examine the sarcophagus, crystals, and holographic systems freely. The tomb had become a teacher and an ally, offering its secrets to those who proved worthy. Tara looked around in wonder. Commander, this is more than exploration. We have discovered an entire civilization's knowledge and technology. Humans survive because we are curious and capable of learning. Ren placed a hand on the sarcophagus again. Exactly. Humans survive because we think, cooperate, and adapt. We face challenges and grow stronger with each one. This tomb has shown us the value of intelligence and courage, and we must use what we learn to help humanity. The team spent hours exploring the chamber, recording data, and studying the holograms. Every piece of information revealed new possibilities for technology, energy, and knowledge. The tomb had given them not only a challenge but also a gift. Finally, Ren turned to the team. We have learned much today. Humans survive because we trust our minds, our courage, and each other. The tomb has accepted us as allies. It will guide us safely from here if we continue to respect it and apply what we learn. Milo nodded. Commander, we have passed every test. The tomb recognizes our intelligence and composure. Humans survive because we are adaptable, brave, and united. That is why we succeeded. Terra smiled. Commander, we have proven that humans can face the unknown and emerge stronger. The tomb has acknowledged us, and we have gained knowledge that can help all of humanity. Ren looked at the sarcophagus and the guardian hovering silently beside it. Humans survive because we learn from the unknown, act with courage, and work together. The tomb has tested us, guided us, and finally accepted us. We leave not just with knowledge, but with a new understanding of what humans are capable of. The explorers moved carefully toward the exit, the sarcophagus glowing gently behind them. The guardian remained at the center, silent but calm, as if watching over the tomb's secrets. The crystals hummed softly, and the chamber was peaceful for the first time since their arrival. As they stepped back into the canyon outside, the sun was low on the horizon. The red dust shimmered in the fading light, and the wind carried a sense of calm. The team looked at each other, realizing what they had accomplished. Ren spoke quietly, "We have faced fear, power, and intelligence. Humans survive by thinking, adapting, and working together. That is why we are here. That is why we will continue to explore and grow." Milo added, "We have gained knowledge, technology, and understanding. Humans survive because we learn, act wisely, and trust each other. This discovery will change everything." Taro looked at the horizon. "Commander, the tomb has shown us that humans are capable of great courage and intelligence. We can face the unknown and emerge stronger. We are ready for whatever comes next." Ren nodded. The tomb has become an ally, a teacher, and a guide. Humans survive because we respect the unknown, apply knowledge, and act with courage. Today, we have proven that we are worthy of this knowledge. Tomorrow, humanity will benefit from what we have learned. The explorers took one last look at the tomb. It stood silent, glowing softly in the canyon, its guardian watching over it. The scream had vanished, replaced by a gentle hum. The tomb had acknowledged the human's courage, intelligence, and unity. It had become an ally, offering its secrets to those who proved themselves worthy. And Commander Ren knew, as he looked at the horizon, that humans' greatest strength was not force, but their minds, courage, and unity. The tomb had tested them, and they had survived. The adventure had ended, but the journey for knowledge and exploration was only beginning. The tomb had screamed, it had tested, and it had accepted. Humanity had gained a new friend, a new challenge, and a new future among the stars.